Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video. I'm the Aesthetic DM, and with me once again is Drew, aka the Gonza. Drew, say hi.
Hello. Hello, everybody.
Today we got another video. We're going over. Oh, That's not. Don't look at that. We're going over the Shinigami's Handbook to Soul Society. Specifically, kind of a. What would you say, Drew? Like an interview?
Kinda. I don't know. Just like yeah, kind of like an interview behind the scenes, self-reflection. Let's go over some thoughts.
Yeah, just going over the book and my thoughts on a lot of the book and just some questions that we've received kind of throughout the whole process of this book. So, Drew, go ahead, lead off. What's the first question?
Okay. So the first question is, what is the current goal of the book?
So, current goal is obviously to finish the book. But I would say the immediate goal right now is if you all saw of the recent patch on Friday here, we did some nerfs to the Shinigami and some rebalancing for the Quincy class. So the current goal right now is to get all the classes in a fairly similar power level. So right now we finished Drew and I finished rebalancing the Quincy class and its subclasses. We're gonna next take a look at the bow attributes, feats, and everything else for the Quincy. And then once we're done with that, I would say right after that would be taking a look at the Fullbringers and then the Arankar. That's what I would say is the immediate goals currently right now.
Yeah, I mean, whatever order we get it in. I mean, it doesn't really
Oh,
matter to me. I just got to make sure it's not broken
yeah.
right. That's all I got to do.
I'll get
Um,
some insane numbers and then you'll tune them down.
yeah, yeah. I'll make them mortal again. So, what's the history, the journey of the book?
So the journey of the book mainly was I was living in San Francisco, going to school there in 2014. Um,
Yikes.
and that's when I first learned actually how to play Dungeons and Dragons. As a nerd, I was aware of it, but didn't really much know anything about it. I didn't know anyone where I lived, who plays it, how to play it, and anything really about it. So it wasn't until I moved over there, got together with some nerds, and learned how to play Dungeons and Dragons, and it was a fantastic time. Had a good time. Our DM left as he graduated. I then became the DM, played a few games, and we all were a bunch of weebs, and we wanted to maybe do some anime-ish campaigns. So I did some googling and didn't really find much in those veins of anime inspired campaigns. It was around that time I think where anime started really becoming more popular. It was like on its way to being a mainstream thing. So there wasn't a lot going on for that. But I did find a Bleach D20 system, and that was exciting for me because I'm like, oh, that's my top three anime, and there's like a system for it. So we got into that, playing that, and it was really good. But it was really unbalanced, very, very broken. I appreciate whoever put it together because it takes a lot to get together a book. But I can definitely see the motivation slowly fading away in lots of parts of the book. So I can definitely tell which parts they put a lot of work into, and the rest of it they just slapped together stuff to finish it. But it was great. We did one campaign with the old book, and we still had a good time. But it was not good, and we wanted to do another run of it. So I had to go through the whole book and rebalance it, and that's basically where this all started. Where I rebalanced it, did a campaign. We wanted to do a third one. I rebalanced it again, and then I just kept rebalancing to the point where I said, you know what? I'm just gonna rewrite this whole book and try to make it more balanced and better. And then that's where it all began.
Yeah, holy shit, dude. I remember. I remember doing like one, maybe like three, okay, like 3 to 4 sessions, and then we wouldn't see you again for like maybe a couple weeks or two, and then you'd come back and you'd be like, "Oh, the book's completely changed." Like, and that happened multiple times. And so like every like month we'd have to like remake our characters from scratch essentially because so many of the rules would get changed or abilities at the times, nerves, buffs, so much stuff. And you remember Brawler?
Oh, yeah. I'm glad Brawler's gone.
Brawler, Specialist. There were so many.
Well, speaking of Brawler, actually, remember that
Fucking
patron
Daphne.
of
Yeah.
patron abilities?
Yeah.
I think that might be better as a class and making that the new Brawler.
uh yeah, definitely not the definitely we definitely can't just make it what they pitched it to us as, but
Oh,
yeah, we
sorry,
can make
not class, subclass. Sorry,
subclass for who?
for
For
the humans, for the Fullbringers. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah. That's totally doable.
yeah. That's what I've been thinking about that. So yeah,
Yeah, let's just let it do everything the old brawler could do.
yeah. So a little spoiler, Geo, you need to reschedule your one-on-one so we can go through your stuff. So there's a little sneak peek for you if you're watching this video because we
We
just
used
got
to
so burnt.
we used to be D&D fiends too. We used to like do 8 hour sessions and shit, all
Oh,
weekend games and
dude, that one time where we're like Friday night came to your house, we played D&D, went to sleep around like 2 a.m., woke up at like 1, got some food, and then
food. Yep, it
right
just kept
into
went right back
D&D,
in.
right to D&D. And we were like, what time is it again? Oh, it's like 1 a.m. All right, let's go to sleep. Wake up Sunday, D&D, and then I leave.
Oh my god! Like now that sounds like a nightmare. Like I would never even attempt to do that now. Like yeah, like we approach that 3 hour mark, and I'm just like, what time is it? Like I gotta leave.
Dude, even now, just like I look at 2 hours, I'm like, I gotta wrap this up. I'm like, God, this is taking forever.
Yeah, but then every now and then you get those moments where you're like, oh, it's going real hot right now, and I can't stop the train.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We still get those times now and then, but man, we were fucking gremlins back then.
Yeah, dude, I'd get withdrawals. I'd be like just have like in class, just fucking shaking my hand like I'm rolling dice already.
Holy shit, just fucking falling asleep thinking of D&D. Drew, roll for initiative.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep.
Alrighty, let's cut into the specifics about the individual classes and like what we're trying to, or what you're trying to do with them and how
Okay.
I'm trying to nerf them.
Sure.
So, the Shinigami.
All right, let me
So,
go over to them real quick.
yeah, so in the show, the Shinigami, they fucking have swords, and all their swords manifest and grow abilities in so many different kinds of shapes, colors, and lasers. And so you had to make a system for them to give the player the ability to basically, man, I don't even know what you call it. Just make their own superhero essentially.
Yeah. In the first iteration of this book, that was honestly don't even know who it was written by. I don't remember there having any names or credits on it. So I can't even properly give them thanks and credit for kind of sparking the inspiration for all this. But whoever you are, thanks. But in the first iteration of the book, there was 3 different versions of the Shinigami class. Um, Man, what was it? Do you remember? It was like strong Shinigami, fast Shinigami, and I forgot what the other one was. Was it smart Shinigami?
I don't know, bro. I mean, it might have been. Well, you're saying if you're saying strong and fast, it'd probably be Khan.
No, I'm saying like those were like the 3 Shinigami classes back then, right? You
Yeah,
remember?
no, dude.
Okay, well, there was 3 different ones, and I didn't think that was a good route to go. So now, with us switching over to 5e, I had a better look at what was going on over here, and it was mainly these like core classes, and then anything else that would come up, even from like older editions, they would be made into subclasses. So then I started looking at, okay, let me look at subclasses. One would be for like the fighter, one would be for like the sorcerer, and then the other one would be for I'm not sure, like Rogue maybe. Um, and that still didn't feel very good either. I felt a little awkward of like having three different classes, which I wasn't a big fan of. So I then decided that I think the best route is going to be Shinigami being its own class, and then like the fast, strong, and smart Shinigami would be subclasses, and that way I could make four of them now. So one specializing on the sword, one on hand to hand, one on spellcasting, and one on being very agile. So that just worked out a lot better, in my opinion. So with the features that they get, I just wanted to make it have them gain features that you see that all Shinigami seem to have across the board. So like indomitable, enhanced durability, timeless body. These are things that we see all Shinigami to exhibit, especially more powerful ones like the timeless body. Yeah, you can like Yamamoto and all these other um Shinigami that age and have been along for like so long. That's basically to mimic that. Enhance their ability, indomitable, just mainly for like, you know, they're very anime style. Like you're on the fence, you're on the ropes, you're about to die, but you don't. Once a day, indomitable, you can reroll a save. So these things are mainly just to mimic the whole anime feel, and it also just aligns with what every Shinigami seems to exhibit throughout the show. Um, and then yeah, and then just having them get features based on which each one goes into, which they don't really go over in the show. The what was it called? I think I just passed it. The what's it? Yeah, the Zanken Soki training thing that they do in the academy. That was just kind of perfect alignment for the class and going making things based off of that. So that's kind of where, at least with Shinigami, where why they did the things they are and why they are the way they are.
All right, and then so again, now we can talk about the most recent one we've put under magnifying glass, the Quincy.
Yeah, the Quincy.
So,
So, well, yeah, go ahead. What do you got?
so I mean, we just heard so much that it sucks, and obviously we don't want any of the classes to suck. We want them. It might be impossible. I don't know, but I feel like we do a pretty good job at balancing, and I feel like we can get them all in a relative ballpark to where they should be able to, when we're done with them, eventually, sometime when we get there, they should be able to fight each other and it not feel so one sided and horrible.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was clearly that wasn't happening with the Quincy, and so that's why we've taken a closer look at it. And so what was the goal, or what were you trying to do with this one?
So for the Quincy is pretty tough because we don't have a lot. I mean, like the show Bleach, it's all about the Shinigami. Like that's basically the whole show. It's all about them, and we have some other people in the show, which the other being Quincy. Now the final arc does have more Quincy, but these are very high level Quincy where we still have a large gap. Like we have Uryu, and he's doing things where we're like, oh, these are like high level stuff, and like you need to be a fucking Quincy genius to do these things. We're like, oh, that's cool. And then we get the Thousand Year Blood War, um, and then they're doing kind of similar stuff, and they're like, oh, what, you can do this too? It's like, yeah, this is fucking like chump stuff. Like, what are you talking about? Anybody can do this. It's like, oh fuck, well shit. So the whole evolution of the Quincy and the power levels and what they can do is kind of just scattered, and we're not even sure really of what exactly they can do and stuff. So I can only really make the base this off of what we've seen, which there's a lot of just missing info, which kind of sucks. So I had to just base this off of the Arcane Archer class, for the subclass for the fighter, because that's all really there is for D&D to match that, and then add some things on top of that. But yeah, Quincy's pretty hard just because we don't have a lot for them, unfortunately. And I'm hoping we get. I mean, I know a lot of people hate filler, but I'm a big fan of filler, especially when I'm writing books like this and doing things like this for D&D, for anime. So I'm a big fan of filler for them to give me more stuff to go off of. So hopefully we get some filler with some more Quincy stuff, and we go more in depth with their abilities and what they can do and what their a normal Quincy progression would look like, because that would be really cool. and help me out with this. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. This is basically Arcane Archer, but hella beefed up to be its own class.
Yep. And since like some people were saying it was super weak, we buffed everything we could put our hands on in here.
Yep.
Okay, so let's go over Fullbringer now.
Okay, Fullbringer. So before in the first edition of the book, all the humans had their own specific little classes, which in 5e they would be subclasses, but none of them felt very cool or unique, right?
They were
Other
pretty.
than Brawler.
They were pretty forgettable.
Yeah. So yeah,
Like
they use
like student and shit.
yeah, in D20 you would just pick up like fast hero, strong hero instead of any of those because they just were not that cool, unique. They really didn't give you a lot of stuff. So yeah, I definitely just got rid of them. But now I'm thinking of maybe implementing them since Fullbringers kind of would just be using regular D&D 5e classes, which feels meh. Because like you see Shinigami, you see Quincy, you see Arankar, and those are really like cool, unique, new stuff. And then you're just Fullbringer, and then you just pick up fucking fighter, and you're like, yeah, I'm just a regular fighter. And
Yeah.
that doesn't feel good. So
No.
I might make some new, bring those back, maybe make them a lot cooler, more unique, and then they're gonna be subclasses. So now when you're a Fullbringer, you're like, oh, I'm gonna pick up fighter. I'm gonna use this sick new subclass from this book. It'll feel a lot better and it'll be really cool instead of just being some champion. Oh,
Okay. I'm in the right spot. So where are these guys getting their plus student ability score or a feat? Where are they getting that at? You see what I'm talking? Where's that at?
Depends on the class that you pick up. You know.
Oh, okay. So what I'm hearing is we're making classes.
All right. We'll look at making a class.
It just makes sense. I think it just makes sense.
Okay, I mean, yeah. If you all right,
I mean, what I would.
bro. You know how long we took all these fucking classes. You want to do it again?
Lipstick in my Valentino white bag. I think like.
I mean, you're probably right. They probably needed some class.
Isn't human the race and Fullbringer the class?
No, Fullbringer is a sub race, a lineage.
So Fullbringer's a race.
Yes.
Well, they should still get a class then.
Okay, then we'll do a class. Because I mean, Quincy got one. Quincy's a race, and you got a class.
Yeah, it's either that or we have to delete the whole Quincy class table. It's one of the two.
I don't know about that one, Chief. What the fuck?
Well, it's like
we can just give Fullbringers a class. We can go through, see what we got for them, what we can do.
Bouncer coming back, give him a class.
No. Oh god.
Okay, let's go into. Wait, who's next? Arankar.
Arankar. Okay, let me see.
Yeah, this one's a bit of a new territory for me because shout out to Ben, right?
Yeah.
He came up with or he helped with this one, right?
Yeah, he had the foundation for it. I honestly had to make.
Fucking awesome.
I didn't have to make too much stuff. Just fix some wording, swap around some abilities, and yeah, I mean it was pretty good foundation. He had a pretty good foundation laid out for me to go off of.
Fuck yeah, Ben, fucking holding it down. Because yeah, me and you are right now. We're hitting them in order. So we've been working on Shinigami for God knows how long. We just got around to Quincy, and then we're gonna go Fullbringers. You said, or we're gonna go Fullbringers, right?
Fullbringer or Arankar, whichever one. I would say Fullbringer because Arankar is kind of already there, and I just want to have it more time to simmer and more people to play it. And because I don't really think a lot of people are playing Fullbringer, so I think that's the one we need to hit next after we're done with all the Quincy stuff.
Yeah. And then when we're done with that, then I'll put my magnifying glass over this Arankar class, and I'll see what's going on under the hood. Touch on this requirement, Hollow 16 hit die for some people that are confused, because I think you said a lot of people seem confused, right?
Yeah, hit die is your so let me make it easier. I think let me go over to Shinigami. So a Shinigami, your hit die is D8. So as you can see, 1d8 per Shinigami level. So that means you're getting multiple per level. So at level 1, you're gonna have 1d8. At level 2, 2d8. So the 8 is the size of your hit die, and the first number here is how many of them you have. So you're gonna have at the very end of 20th level in Shinigami, you're gonna have 20 d8 hit die. And if we go to Hollow now, so Ronkar, you're gonna need 16 hit die. Doesn't matter what size it is, you just need 16 hit die. Creating a Ronkar. So to create a PC Ronkar, you choose a beast. And all of the monsters in the monster manual will have already a hit die. So if I go over here to D&D Beyond, we'll go to Beast. We'll say fucking, I don't know, Ape. Ape have 3d8 hit die. So this is the number that you're really caring about. That you're starting out at 3d8. So if you pick your Ape as your template, as your base, and then you apply the hollow template, which is under the hollow section, you're gonna slap it on them. And then you're gonna continue building or playing your character as normal. So like, choose a background, class levels like Orank or whatever. And then your GM decides whether to play from that starting point, or if your DM is just gonna give you whatever hit die. And then you're gonna go off of your hollow, you're gonna see how they scale, and you're gonna, do things accordingly to that. But yeah, they so then say Drew here is playing wants to play Narankar, and he picks Ape. 3D the hit die. I'm gonna give him 13 hit die. So now that puts him at 16 hit die. And then you put a level in Narankar, and that's gonna give you a D10. So now you're gonna be at a total of 17 hit die. You're gonna be at 16 D8 plus 1 D10. The hit die for the Arankar class, I'm actually thinking of changing it to say instead of 1d10 per Arankar level, you just gain another one of what you currently have. But I don't know what's the best way to word that as a problem. And the same thing when it says hit points at higher levels. That's another thing too, where I don't know how to what's the best way to word it. That way it might make it less confusing. So now you aren't worrying about two different hit dice sizes, and you can just worry about the one. So if you're like a D8, you're always gonna stay at the D8. And then I can probably make a hollow ability where like your hit dice size is like up by 1 or something. But yeah, I'm thinking of changing that to make maybe help out with the confusing part of it and not having to keep, like I said, keep track of different hit die sizes. So
yeah, that's
yeah.
the classes, right?
Yeah, I think that's the classes. That should be all of them.
All right, cool. All right, now the next bullet is the armament abilities.
All right, armament abilities.
So let's not go over all the abilities individually, because some of them we're gonna repeat ourselves. Like as they stand right now, the elemental abilities, they probably all kind of just shadow each other. Like I think they all for the most part have some kind of like bursting AoE, or they all have some kind of cone or some kind of line attack. They're
all fairly cookie cutter right now.
Yeah, like we want to flesh out their identities as abilities so they feel more different. But right now we're focusing on the classes. That'll be something we definitely come back to and work on more.
Yeah, so that's something you guys should keep an eye out.
I don't know. I mean, that's after the classes, and who knows when we're gonna fucking finish that shit.
Hopefully not too long. But yeah, if any of you guys, head on over to the Bleach 5e Discord if you guys have any abilities you want to see, any ideas that you want to see with the armaments, feel free to post them in there. You can put them under the concerns channel, the thread channel under concerns or even questions. If there's something that you want to see added to the book, and then I'll, consider them when we get to this year.
Yeah, I can't promise we'll use them, but definitely we will 100% look at them.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's where we're at with our armaments. Definitely want to.
Oh, let's go into a couple of the unique ones.
Okay, which ones?
Like, so let's talk about barrier. Let's talk about
barrier.
generic.
Okay. Look at that. All right, let's go barrier first. I'm in barrier.
Sure.
What do you want to talk about?
Okay. And then another one that's like super unique, um, even though its name is not, is generic, dude. Generic does so much cool fucking shit. And I really hope that players constantly look to this section of abilities anytime they have access to pick one. Like, holy fuck, dude, this shit is so cool. Oppression. Oppression is oppression scares me. This is one of the ones that I constantly check to see if I need to nerf it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, because it's yikes, dude. It's fucking horrifying because they release and you get one roll to not die.
I wouldn't say one roll not to die.
No?
I say get fucked.
Okay, so it is one roll or you die. Because yeah, fuck, man, it's brutal. It is. If you fail that roll, you are wrecked up pretty bad. Especially if you're a spellcaster and they have like suppressed magic and yikes, that's rough. Because then suddenly you just have like a bunch of spell points you had access to, like now they're just gone, just because you decided to fight this guy. I know the reason. Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, like this ability is if this ability, it's so scary, dude. It's like either on the it's either just below the middle of the pact, and if it's not there, then it's absurdly broken. Like it's hard to find the middle ground with this ability. Like any number that you tweak is either too weak now or too good. Like just so quickly. Yeah. Moving on. Projectile self-explanatory. It's going to give you your range if you needed more consistent range.
Yeah, I've actually seen Ben in the one shots use it and actually did fucking work with this. And I'm so glad I changed the wording on this because it made it play nice. So your projectile is your armament. So he was able to pick up Zon specialization and get all these armament bonuses which apply to projectile form. So he's like, I'm rolling 4d6 damage, and you're either taking that or you're taking half of that per turn. And then he has all these other stacking abilities on it. And he made it fucking disgustingly busted. It was fucking cool.
Really? Because I know
Yeah.
we struggled with this ability being super weak for the majority of its lifespan.
I think the problem was just the wording was on it that we for some reason didn't think about RC until like I was thinking about it. And I think the patrons brought it up. They're like, hey, is this supposed to work with this? I'm like, oh yeah, it's supposed to. Like, well, by rules it doesn't because it's like it doesn't say your armament. Shouldn't this say like your armament is what's dealing this damage so it stacks with other stuff? And that's when like I had that like I'm a fucking idiot. Of course that's how it's supposed to be worded because that's how we wanted it to work. So I went through and changed just about everything. I think the one I actually missed Thornmail. It should be considered your armament. That way, if you have fire form, when your Thornmail is doing damage, you can have it deal fire damage. But your armament is what's dealing this damage, and that's so it's supposed to be scaling with all your armament stuff. So I changed all the wording, and that projectile's sick now for sure.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
All right. And then the problem child summon.
Oh my god.
Oh man, that's if you wanna get into a heated debate with me in the fucking Bleach 5e RPG Discord, go ahead and at me with the you think someone's good, and then I'll fucking hit you up and we can bash it out.
Go on there, guys, and yeah, add him and tell him how good and how much you love summoning.
Oh my god.
Tell him how balanced it is.
It's terrible ability.
No, sorry. Tell him how OP good it is and that he's trolling. I think when we come back to the armaments, that's probably the last time I'm going to come back to summoning and try something. And if it doesn't work, it's going to be gone. So if you don't want something to be gone, I need you to comment below or go into the Discord and advocate.
Just don't update the book. Just don't update the book.
Advocate for this fucking armament ability because it's gonna be gone because I'm getting tired of it.
All right. It's the last unique type is like weapon. Weapon does it feel? It feels like it got a lot smaller.
Yeah, because that's just because it's 5e.
Okay.
A lot of things were able to get condensed down to certain things.
Nice.
So yeah, I think weapon might be the smallest out of all of them, honestly. But yeah, I think weapon still has room to like add more things to it. I think, um, but at the moment, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. I think I mean, if anything's gonna get expanded on, it's probably the enchanted weapon section,
Hmm.
is what I imagine be the first thing that gets more stuff added to it.
Sure, yeah, for
Um,
sure. There, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's probably the first thing that jumps up at me. Yeah. Alrighty. On to the next bullet.
All right, what do
So
we
we
got?
covered that already. Is there anything that is not in the book right now that you want to add? So anything?
Shrifts for the Quincy.
Yep, shrifts. Shrifts is one.
I guess now the full bring class.
Yeah, there you go. Full bring
More
class. Get it?
feats. We
Yes.
just
Oh my
talked
god.
about that. We just talked about
Yes,
that.
more feats, bro. They're gonna watch out, guys. More Quincy feats are coming. I have some ideas. They're gonna be sick.
Yeah, I know the some patrons have some feats that they threw over that me and Drew went over as well. But yeah, there's more feats, shrifts. Um,
Specifically, the feats where we're gonna allow you to forego your spell casting, and you'll get a a nice, handsome benefit in like the specialization that you chose.
yeah, so if you really want to be like Ichigo or Kenpachi that don't do any spell casting, you can just say fuck spell points or spell casting, and you're just all in on fucking melee and you know
Yeah,
be more
or or
yeah do
karate
all that.
chopping or fucking chunkoing
Sure. Yep.
around.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, it's because yeah, exactly. Because if you wanted to go mute Zanpakuto to deny yourself of any abilities, armament abilities, which increases your damage dice on your weapon, and forego your spellcasting to go even more damage and beyond, like dude, that'd be tight. That'd be really cool. So we
Yeah.
want to give you guys that option to do that.
And more. What else is in the book that I want to add in? Epic boons and just regular boons.
Hmm.
Yeah. So there's gonna be epic boons for like the level 20 capstone for select classes, and then just regular boons to pick up throughout. Like right now there was a poll that went up for changing Substitute Shinigami from a background to a boon. That way it opens up your background to be whatever you want. And it could like if you want to be Ichigo, you can't pick up student as a background because you're already using it to pick up Substitute Shinigami. So boons like that, that would be a boon being a Substitute Shinigami. That would be a regular boon. And there's a bunch of other similar things like that.
Yeah,
Oh shit, there's one
and
music outside. Hold on.
okay, and then touching like on the feats, we were mentioning it. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I'll push for it to happen. But we were talking about a Quincy feat that if you're using the spiritual bow, um, allowing you to spend more SP to like in combat, swap between the bow types, between longbow, the crossbow, the short bow, and like
Oh, hot swapping
that'd be
between the
really cool.
different bows.
Yeah, that'd be really cool as a feat for us to add later.
Yeah, I mean that might be better as a feat. Yeah,
Yeah, that's just an idea.
for sure. So those are the things for sure I want to currently add to the book that's not in here right now.
Alrighty, and then your little monsters that you're making for DMs to just plug and play with. How's that? How was that going? And where do you want to take that?
That was fucking tedious, man. Putting in entering stat blocks in here in the GM binder, like there's like a little shortcut to just add like a little stat block. Yeah, like a little monster block here. But going through individually and plugging in all the info, oh my god, it's so fucking tedious. Like I have one right now. I check out the other ones because it was just taking forever. And I also haven't really found a good format for it. So here is one Katsuya, and this is what I think it would look like. It's a little hard to see on here for you guys, but stat blocks are probably going to be pretty big. That's just the nature of them having stuff. So some of these things like observant, Ho-Ho practitioner, Ho-Ho prodigy, like I might have to abbreviate a lot of these things because they, as you can see, it's eating up a lot of the stat block space. So I definitely want to have like a section here for their armament. Like here it says Zanpakuto, what's the name of it, the release command, the type, and the abilities. And then I just like some of these abilities I'm gonna have to then flesh out on here as well. So that's why I need to abbreviate as much of the all the stuff as possible. Cause ooh it's sure taking a lot of space. And then I also have to add the pictures of these NPCs and stuff. So yeah, but yeah, that's where I'm at right now. And also I just stopped doing it because we're doing all these going back through and reworking stuff. So as Drew pointed out, there's no point of me to make stat blocks right now while we're updating classes and soon armaments and all this other stuff.
Yeah, I just feel like just the time is better used on the stuff that the players are going to be building on.
Sorry, DMs, you're just gonna have to struggle for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, but you're used to pulling stuff out of your guys' ass anyways if you're a real DM, so.
Woo!
All right, the final bullet. So after all these years, man, how do you feel about the book right now?
Right now, it the great. Like,
Hell yeah.
yeah, it's been since 2016. So what, 5 years? No, not even 5 years. It's been a
No,
while.
dude. Yeah.
Um, I think it's a lot of progress for the amount of early on reworks that we did. Like we've definitely lost a lot of time because of just school work and then just getting burnt out and not doing anything for like almost probably a whole year. Um, I think it's pretty good. Like we've put like I mean before it was just for us, but now that I'm making it for like everybody else, like I think the timeline of it has like significantly sped up. Like, don't you think?
Oh yeah, for sure. It feels like definitely just even the last like 6 months feel like you've been like accelerating the fucking growth of this book. Just getting so much stuff done, dude.
Yeah, I can see the completion of this book over the horizon. Like it's I can
How
work
does that feel, dude? How does that feel? Seeing you can feel like you can see the end, bro.
pretty good. Pretty good.
Dude, it's fucking awesome, dude. You have like 20,000 people fucking looked at this book. They've at least clicked on that goddamn thing, you know, like 20,000 fucking people.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Dude, I don't even know
Big
20,000
fan.
people.
I love like maybe three.
Dude, I remember some of the things like I would tell you things are broken at some point. Doesn't happen every time, but I would tell you things were broken, and you would tell me, "No, I don't think they are," and I'd be like, "Okay." I was like, "I guess I'm gonna have to show you." I'd have to make a character from like fucking scratch, make a character, shove that shit down. You throw some hollows up, and then I'd show you, and it's like, fuck, man. I guess it is broken. I guess we do have to change this shit.
Well,
Like
well, here's the thing. Back then, you're really bad at just explaining. You would just be like, "Oh, it's busted." I'm like, okay, well, how's it busted, bro? It's busted. I'm like, what does that mean? Like, what part of it is busted, dude? The spellcasting with fist busted. I'm like, what are you talking
what
about?
does that even mean?
That's what you told me with fucking what's his name?
Yeah, I know. I had to. That sounds like totally something I would have said to you.
So I was like, you're just like, yeah, take a look at this, and I'm like, okay, I'm reading this. Now take a look at this. Okay, I'm reading this. Busted. I'm like, I don't see what you're seeing. Doesn't look busted to me. I'm reading this. I wrote this. It doesn't look busted. And you're like, okay, next session, watch. I'm like, okay, I'll watch. Show me what's busted. And then you show up, you fucking destroy the session. I'm like, okay, I believe you. You're like, see, I told you busted. And I'm like, let me see your fucking character sheet. And I'm reading it with your fucking chicken scratch. And you're like explaining it to me. And I'm like, okay, now I get why it's broken. Now that you walked me through it, you fucking monkey.
Damn.
With your
Hey,
fucking bicep grunts.
that's why I don't fucking word any of the goddamn abilities. I just balance. That's all I do. That's all I do.
God damn it.
Oh my god. God forbid I touch anything else besides balancing. So what do you think
So
would be? I mean, it's still we're not there yet, but what would be another project down the line you'd be willing to touch?
I don't know. I think once I'm done with this book, I mean, I'll be done with this book once there is a printed copy in my hands. Preferably a hardback cover because they're just better.
Mhm.
But no, yeah, I think I'm I'll stick on Bleach for a little while longer just to give myself a break, go through, continue, maybe play some community games with on the Discord. Even now, I'm trying to find some time to do that. But right now, with work, the current campaigns we got going on, and me moving soon-ish, TM, um, I don't got time for that. But maybe some like one shots on the Discord. All right. Well, that's it for today, everybody. Thank you guys for watching this video, especially if you went and watched it all the way through. Very much appreciate it. If you would like to stay up to date with all the content that we are doing for the Bleach 5e book, please subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below for any part of this video that you enjoyed the most or what you're excited for, and what you are critical about. If you want to also have more room to talk about the book and talk with other people or about the book, head on over to the Bleach 5e Discord. I got a lot of people talking about the book, also getting advice for DMs and even players on making, recreating builds and stuff, or just advice on certain builds. Head on over there as well. If you want to support me personally and my endeavors with this book, you could also become a patron, which is linked below. Best perks is for the captain tier, where we do one shots every month. We have one scheduled today, actually. So if you want to be part of that as well, head on over to that. Everything will be linked below. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys next time.